adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on.
Welcome back to the No Snooze Podcast. We are episode 45.
45, baby.
45. Sí, 45. Miguelito's back. How you doing? David, you're looking good. Svelte.
Svelte.
Yeah.
No, Svelte is bad.
No, Svelte is good. Svelte is like tight.
No, if you look Svelte.
Yeah, Svelte is good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of looking tight and Svelte, I'm wearing a three-piece suit.
You look fire. I was just going to say.
I bought a three-piece, but I only wear two pieces for appointments. And I'm like, I don't have a wedding in the foreseeable future, so I'm going to start wearing my vest to the
Tell them what
podcast.
Karina said to you when you walked upstairs.
Oh, yeah. She goes, what'd you just get off the Titanic? That's pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was
I was
perfect.
more going for like a mobster look, but
and yeah, I think you're pulling it off there.
thank you, sir. But it's an aggressive look. I don't know if I could pull this off like actually in like casual. Like if I showed up and didn't address that I had a vest on, I don't know if you can get by with that. You know what I mean?
Well, you did just come from work too, so.
Yeah, but if I walked in with this and I had a vest on, you wouldn't make a comment and be like,
nice vest, bro.
okay.
Probably.
You're a guy who would wear a vest.
I definitely wear a vest.
Yeah, just the vest though, right?
But I told you my favorite look, just the vest, just the vest. Yes, my favorite look though really is I like a button down. Oh, I have a button down on.
Mm-hmm.
Little chest meat showing.
Yeah,
with a blazer.
that's a good look.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
like Ray Donovan type of vibe.
that's a very Ray Donovan outfit that you have on
with
right
the
now.
All black is the. I don't know. It's just the easiest thing to do, and it looks the best. Always. Yeah. You can never go wrong.
You're like Johnny Cash. Everything matches, which is nice.
Yeah.
The other thing that I want to mention is that I am sitting here with my tail between my legs, and I lost our bet. I said I'd get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year
on YouTube.
We're currently at 224.
200 something. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. There must be something wrong with the algorithm, but we had a nice meal at Wild Fusion.
Yes.
And we put down quite a few rolls.
Yep.
It was a good meal, but I do pay up on my bets.
Yes, you
and
do. You are a man of your word, my friend.
And speaking of, failed goals, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. But first, hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and everybody enjoyed the holidays. And it's coming fast, though, right? Like the New Year is this is the last episode of, is that right? This is the last episode of 2020.
Yeah.
Incredible year, but also a tough one. So before we do that, let's talk a little father figure, pod bod, dad bod update. Have you done anything athletic?
I have. I started lifting 3-pound weights in the morning.
Okay.
Because that's what's available in our house.
Okay.
I have been doing some air squats.
Nice.
And I've incorporated my walking again.
The walking.
I'm hoping that, my Apple Watch will be coming soon. Hint.
Ooh.
And the other thing that I've been incorporating, which I think you'll like because it's very efficient, it's effective, and convenient.
My guy.
I had to remember.
It's my guy.
I watched our goals episode on the way here. So I've been doing air jump roping. Okay. So no actual jump rope, just jumping in the air and doing this.
Right.
While Livy's in her bouncer.
She gets a kick out of it.
She tires her out. And then I get a workout in, and you could track how many jumps
I'm going to need
you're doing.
you to record that, and the people want to see it.
So I'm literally just jumping in the air, doing this motion.
Yep.
And
that really does make you better at jump rope, right?
Yeah.
Did you know?
I was a good jump roper.
Were you?
I think we talked about it way back when. I like jump roping.
Right.
And I got obsessed with boxing for a little bit, just watching it and watching the build-up to the Mayweather Pacquiao. It was a long
Something
time ago.
Like that, yeah.
And I started doing the jump rope, and I just like the workouts of boxer, MMA fighter type stuff. But yeah, so I'm doing the air because I don't go outside and I don't have the space.
Jump roping is incredible.
Yeah.
Back when I was in high school, I went into my sophomore year. No, finished my sophomore season, right? Mm-hmm. Just being able to touch the rim. Mm-hmm. And I had a goal of like dunking. So somebody, I forget who it was, one of the trainers that I was playing AAU basketball with, that program, they said get into jump roping and do it every day for 20 minutes. I jump roped every day for 20 minutes. I grew probably an inch and a half from my sophomore season to my junior season, so it wasn't crazy. I was dunking 2 hands just by jump roping.
And you would no, it was just strictly jump roping. No, I mean, tricky jump roping.
No. It was just regular jump roping, but it was doing it for 20 minutes nonstop. Every time you would mess up, you would just keep going. Then it was just a system though, very simple system. It was 10 on the right leg, 10 on the left, 10 double, 10 on the right, 10 left, 10 double, 20 minutes straight every single day. I mean, how big is a basketball? What's the inches on that? Probably 8 to 10 inches.
It sounds right.
Right?
I have no idea.
So if you think about just being able to touch the rim to then being able to dunk with 2 hands, I literally increased my vertical by a foot.
But technically, you don't need to clear 8 inches to dunk a basketball, right? Because if you can palm it, you just got to get your wrist above it.
Yeah, but I
did I just blow your mind with that breakdown?
Well, I'm trying to think about it because the whole wrist needs to get above.
Yeah, but it's
rim.
for your wrist to get above.
But the ball too, right? Because if you could palm it, the ball is still higher than your wrist.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you didn't add another 10. I'm not saying that you didn't add the vertical. I'm just saying that's not.
Yeah, I think maybe
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, because if you can palm a basketball, like I've snuck in a dunk or two in my heyday. I didn't jump like that high. You just get a little above the rim.
We told the alley-oop story, right?
Yes, multiple times.
Right. Yeah. Damn, I wanted to tell you.
You can look back to that. We'll try to recreate it in our old age.
Right.
But no, I love jump roping. Calorie-wise, I've been obsessed with calories, which everyone knows, and counting them, and how to burn the maximum amount of calories with the least amount of work. And my stand-up desk, walking, and now I'm incorporating the jump rope while hanging with Livik.
So I know Mike, right? And I know he's a big accountability guy. So I've figured that now moving forward, every single episode, I'm gonna ask you, Mike, have you done anything athletic lately?
Yes.
So now you know.
Were
it's
you surprised
there.
I said yes?
Right. Yeah. Well, no, I think I knew that you were, because you've been saying you wanted to get back into it, and I think it's good. I think us as dads, I think it's important that we stay active and we try to do our best to stay fit. Suit looks incredible on you. So
thank you. And the systems we were talking about prior to recording.
Yep.
A hard thing for me, I feel like the world's conspiring against me because I'm getting into a routine, then all of a sudden something happens with the world. I know it's not just
That's
me.
life, though, man. It really is.
Absolutely. But to this extent, it's been pretty wild lately.
Yep.
Like the rat situation, we're doing a reno, so we got rid of a bunch of stuff in the basement. And like, it's just when you strip it all down, the push-up thing, which I kind of achieved, but didn't really for the previous year, and we can get into it. When you strip it down and you could do stuff that you can do anywhere, that's where the magic happens. Because in theory, even a jump rope action is a lot more easy to incorporate than a push-up.
Yes.
So even now, just hopping around for a couple jumps.
Mike at open houses is going to be jump roping.
Technically, you could do that.
You can,
walking,
absolutely.
jump rope. It's things that you can do anywhere. So the thought is still there. I'm just keep refining it. I know you always want me to ask, how are you doing? The double button with the cheddar showing is a nice look.
You like that?
You look good. You look lean.
Yes. Well, it's the black, too.
Is it the black?
It's the black. It's definitely the black.
But do you know your weight at any given time? Or
I told you.
Never weigh in?
Yeah, we spoke about it. I'm like between 225, 227, maybe 230 on a holiday, you know.
So do you just look in the mirror and you're like, today's a good day?
Yeah.
I've been doing good this week.
I tell myself that today's going to be a great day every day. You know that.
Well, yeah. And we know the post. You're doing your workout posts. So we know when
sometimes, though. That's a lot of... Well, usually I just, acknowledge the fact that I worked out.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to add some more content by showing people what I'm actually doing in the gym. It's a lot of work, though.
Yeah.
It really is a lot of work. Because then you got to prop the phone up.
Yeah.
I propped it up on a fire extinguisher the other day, and the thing almost went off.
The fire extinguisher?
Yeah.
Like
it almost... Because I put it on the handle. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I'm trying for the people,
Yeah, you got to get someone to record you. Just walk around and follow you. It's like a sidekick.
Recipe.
Yes.
Let's talk a little CheffinWithNoSnooze. I guess that's the name. I had an idea of, tell him Mike made it.
Love it.
And then tell him Dave ate it.
It's hilarious.
But we'll stick with CheffinWithNoSnooze. So
that's a good one.
Are you going to bring this to the people every week?
I'm going to try. I'm not going to commit to it.
Be careful. This is a goals.
Yeah,
goals
I'm not
thing.
doing that again. The thing that we'll get into today, and the biggest change was that and I spoke about in previous episodes, all of the downtime we used to have, when you have a baby, and I know I'm preaching to the choir with everyone who has kids, your time slots, your free time gets decimated immediately. I felt like I had half the time this year
Yep.
to do double the work and, adding the element of other business ventures like No Snooze. So moving forward, I will not commit to things and say I'm going to do something unless I know for a fact I can squeeze it in, which I'm not sure I can.
That's what I do, Michael.
I know. It's impressive.
No. But that's it right there. I don't get involved in things that I believe that we had the debate upstairs with the CV.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing different things and all of this, but I'm at a point in my life that I need to find congruency.
Ooh,
and if something doesn't align with, my interests, my personal interests, professional interests, my family interests, it's not worth it for me anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like even the club scene. Used to love the club scene.
3 loves.
But seriously though, I did, right? But yeah, I still like the idea of doing it, but I can't wake up really grateful and try to be the best father and husband, and then I'm going to the club at night, right? So it's the same thing with interest. I'm not going to get involved in any business venture that I physically can't commit to and put that same level that we do into No Snooze and our full-time jobs as dads and husbands.
Yeah. But having it at least forced my hand with the baby, that I had to make the decisions. I cut out so much extra stuff that I used to do that I could do just because I can't do it anymore. And it's like you come to a realization. Anyway, part of that, creating more time for ourselves to do things we actually want to do. One of the things I love to do is cook, but one of the things I also eats up a lot of time is cooking every day. So it's funny because the chefing with no snooze tag, I'm not actually cooking a lot of stuff. I'm taking, corners and doing things and getting pre-prepared things so that it's just quicker. So technically I'm not really chefing, but that's part of the fun to it.
That's good.
So first recipe is the protein brownie batter.
Ooh, talk to me.
You ever go, let me paint a picture for you. You know when someone's making brownies in the house, and Dana, I know you haven't done it in a while, so maybe in the future.
Ooh, my wife just made brownies. She's not.
Did she?
I'm not going to blow her spot, so she's not the best baker. Look, I got some time because I know she doesn't listen to the No Snooze podcast for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Did Sports Center just go up?
Clemson just got a rematch against number Notre Dame.
People heard that. It'd be nice if you put the phone on vibrate.
It's
Michael.
never on. So.
But anyway, my wife is not the best baker, but she made some incredible brownies the other night.
I love how we whisper like they're not going to hear this. So hopefully they skip this episode. So this recipe is very straightforward. I've been focusing on the macros, which I'm still figuring out what the hell that means. But basically, you check your fat, your carb.
Are you being serious though?
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out what macros mean?
I mean, I know what they mean vaguely. I haven't really reassearced ratios.
It's just your big nutrients, your macro.
That would be your
nutrients.
nickname, the big nutrient.
No, but really, that's all macros is. You have micro, which is small, and you have macro, which is big. So
Micro, small, macro.
I like that. But the big three. Tell me about the big three.
So the big three. So I'm tracking fat, carbs, and protein. I'll be honest. The reason I even am mentioning this is because all these recipes that I see on YouTube, that's what they talk about. I don't really track that. I'm tracking primarily calories. But once I try to add this muscle and we get down to the body percentage, which we'll talk about, I need to be a little more strategic. So this one's easy. Box of sugar-free pudding, chocolate edition. You could do others. I know the chocolate works well with it. Full box, 120 calories. Real nice. Cup of unsweetened almond milk, only 30 calories. And then a scoop of protein. I use IsoPure. I like it because I think it's 0 carb.
Or Orgain, right?
Yeah. I use Orgain. But I do use Orgain, but for different stuff. I'm in the process of getting rid of a lot of things that I got previously, like a lot of Quest chips and things that I still enjoy, but I'm starting the phase. I need to rotate things. So this recipe, you literally just mix it and throw it in the fridge, and it's ready in an hour. And it tastes just like brownie batter. I was going to paint the picture. I completely forgot about it. You know when someone's making brownies and you get to lick the bowl or you get it gives you that effect. So although you could eat it in like a little bowl, it might be better to put it in a big bowl and replicate like you just made
a full thing of brownies. I like it.
Someone try it out, tag us, and let me know what you think. I think it's phenomenal.
This is valuable stuff right here. I'm liking this.
Total of 230 calories, which isn't great, but it's not terrible. And then you get 25 grams of protein. It's literally whatever you put in as far as protein scoops. So if you want to do double protein,
five scoops protein.
Exactly. If you want to do a Dave recipe, just quadruple it. But it's nice. It gives me that chocolate hit with my coffee at the end of the day.
Beautiful. I'm loving this new segment. Thank you, Micro Pirelli.
Yes. But what should I know about macros? Do you need to, like, I know you're trying to focus on getting a gram of protein per pound, right? They say?
A gram of protein per pound, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's to optimize muscle.
Which I'm trying to do, obviously. Yeah. But if I'm doing the 1 meal a day, which I'm still doing, it's very difficult to get 200 grams of protein in one meal.
Yes. Oh, well, 1 meal that's ridiculous. And also the way that your liver works and your kidneys, it actually would flush that out anyway. Because there's debates, you can only absorb 20 to 50 grams of protein at one sitting. Yeah, it's crazy. So when people when people have shakes of, like, I used to do this.
Is that true?
I think so. I mean, it's science-based. So
we need to get a scientist on here.
But anyway, the biggest thing with the macros is, yes, you develop a plan. So you have I'm all about plans, right? And you stick to the plan. But now if people are just trying to fit, say they have to reach the number of 100 for their grams of protein, right? Let's call it 150 because I don't want people to think there are 100-pound people out there that are trying to get the 100 grams of protein, right? So let's go 150.
That's my weight loss goal.
Now, you can't just look at the box of Oreos and say, wow, there's 5 grams of protein in 4 cookies. I just need to get all the way up to the 150. That's not how it works.
Are there 5 grams of protein?
I mean, I'm sure it's something small. My point is you have to be eating high quality foods, and it doesn't make any sense to count your macros unless you're involving high quality food content in it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Right?
So the whole pudding angle.
That's great.
It's sugar free. So.
No. I think that's great. And also what counting the macros does is you take the opportunity to, feed your body with the high quality foods, which allows you at the end of the night, if you do have, say you have 50 macros available, you eat what you want to eat, right? So if you do want to eat 3 Oreos, treat yourself.
Yeah, don't cheat yourself. But having that calorie bank, I've loved. The thing that I'm missing at the moment, and what the Apple Watch is going to fill in, is knowing what I'm burning, or at least a ballpark, so then I can adjust that to be more flexible. Because right now I'm really kind of just tracking calories, getting into that routine.
Yep. I know my metabolic rate when I'm not working out. Say if I were to just sit on the couch for 24 hours, I'm actually still burning between 26 and 2,800 calories.
What is that called again?
How crazy is that?
The MCAR or something?
I don't want to speak on it because
something K-Cal.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is.
So the bro science I'll throw in here because I'm a bro scientist. Apparently there is the resting calories you burn, right? And protein, 20 to 30% of the calories from intaking protein is used to burn that protein off. So if you 100 calories of protein, you really only have 70 calories. That's the theory. So a calorie is not a calorie.
A calorie is not a calorie.
Not all calories were made the same.
Yes, that's
what I was trying to say.
That is 100% true.
Right?
Yep.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah,
Where it's if you have protein then and fiber means filling. That's something I picked up from all my videos. The higher in fiber it is, the more satiated. It's a good word right there.
Look at you.
The more satiated you'll be throughout the day.
That's right. This is good. This is good stuff.
I'm learning.
And we're closing the year. You're 30 pounds down.
Hell yeah.
Looking beautiful.
I don't know why I just said hell yeah.
So I thought it was important. We sit down at the end of the year. We first want to acknowledge the wins for the year before we beat ourselves up and talk about the goals that were accomplished and were not accomplished for the wonderful year of 2020.
Yes.
Right? So podcasts, though, let's acknowledge the wins here. We had a studio through Granoff Architects, right?
Yes.
Great opportunity. But then COVID kind of came, so now we're back on the market.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
We got a studio next week. The world shuts down.
I know. But, I mean, this is the reality of it. It's always good to document the wins and the losses. So I view that as a win because we did accomplish what we did want, but then we lost it.
Yes.
And we didn't get it back. So
yeah,
I guess we lost it. But anybody out there that does want to partner with us for some studio space, definitely reach out to us, right?
Yeah, we're super flexible. In a perfect world, it would be in a Greenwich location, a Port Chester, a White Plains, something within our sweet spot.
Yeah.
If you're outside that area, definitely still reach out. But yeah, we're flexible as far as partnerships. We can have Dave maybe like move some bricks or something in your office if you need help. Dave will move furniture for a full year.
Instagram.
the Instagram Godfather is here.
No, we just want to say thank you to everybody.
Yes.
Right, for their incredible support on Instagram.
Yes.
We have achieved the goal of 10K in a year.
Yes.
But just to be clear with people, this was a very strategic process. And every single month, I was sitting down and I did a SMART goal, right? We always talk about the SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and the timeline.
I'm so happy you didn't quiz me.
But so every month I would sit down and I'd say, okay, well, this is where we're at in terms of followers. This is what we need. And then I would break that down by the 30 days or the 31 days that are in the month to say, okay, well, this month we need 25 new followers to get to this goal. And we track that progress and that process every single step of the way. We'll do a full episode on the tactics that were utilized because I do think that could be beneficial to people. But it was fun for me personally watching, and this is what I love in life, the process. And when you see yourself accomplishing a goal, even if I didn't hit the goal of 25 new followers a day, if there was a day that I got 17, it was still a win for us because we got 17 new followers through it. And when you track the progress through an entire process and you look back on it, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting nice and pretty, 10.5, right? 10.5K, something like that.
And the engagement's been great.
Yes.
I mean, Dave's the primary one on the Instagram, and I see all the conversations and the comments, and it's pretty wild.
Yeah, no, but it's it was definitely
well done. Happy 10K.
Yes, happy 10K.
Happy 10K. And then also on the YouTube front, which we already know how the subscribers went. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
It's all right. They would just watch on Instagram. Don't.
Yeah, we must have faces for Instagram.
Right.
We have a good amount of views. We're just about at 10,000 views.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
But total, we're well over 20,000 downloads for the podcast.
Yes.
So thank you again to the people because that's huge.
It's pretty funny. I said it way back when, but it still surprises me when people either like say something, they make like an inside joke about the podcast, or you hear of a story of someone recognizing the logo somewhere.
Yes.
It tickles me.
Right.
Yeah, it's very funny.
And you said we were not going to talk about the story, but I have to tell
I gave you a softball for that one.
Yeah, you really just teed me up nice. So, long story short, I meet this guy. I'm downtown White Plains, kind of a random area. I don't know this guy. I would like for you to reach out because he wasn't my favorite.
I love you though, whoever you are.
But he goes, "You're one of the No Snooze guys, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I don't really like you guys." I'm like, I look at him like super awkward because I'm like, "Well, I don't really know what to say." But then I take a minute. I'm like, "Well, you know what? Thanks for checking us out. I appreciate the feedback, but you know what? Not everybody in life is going to like you, right? And we got to understand that." He goes, "Nah, I think it's you." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I don't really like you. I like the other guy that you do the podcast with." I'm like, again, in my head, I'm like, I want to flick this guy in his forehead, right? But
was it a big dude?
No. But
that's why I didn't like you.
This is why it was even better. But I look at him and I say, "Yeah, that's Mike. He's one of my best friends. He's the best." Right?
Appreciate it, Dave.
And he goes, "You're not he said, "You're not upset?" And then this is when I was super honest with him.
Yeah.
I said, "No, I'm not upset. I'm offended."
Really?
Yeah. I said, "I'm offended." And then he goes, "There is one thing that I like that you do." And he looks at me and he goes, "The no snooze, baby. Come on." He didn't wink though. But it was it was really a bad experience. I'm not gonna lie.
That's so
really,
bizarre.
No,
go
it was
up to someone, and especially of your size, and be like, "You're one of the dudes. I don't like you." And then after you pry a little bit, you say you're not upset. He was like poking the bear.
Yeah, and honestly though, I believed that it was.
Thank you though, whoever said that.
Well, yeah, but also I do believe that this guy was a little bit of a hater.
Yeah, he was absolutely a hater.
So
he
come
didn't
forward.
Like me, he was just getting you riled up.
Come forward if you please. And I did see your Toyota that you walked into. So don't know your name,
Jesus.
but I do know that you have a great Toyota. So
I had a guy comment on our the Tell Mike Sent You page, and he wrote, did I ever share this with you guys?
No.
He wrote, "Stop trying to follow me. You are the most you're the most unoriginal try to wannabe foodie guy I ever met. Give it up, bruh." And then remember I texted you, I'm like, should I respond back to this guy? And I just wrote back, "Thanks for the support, bruh."
That's a good one. So that's good. But really, I guess the lesson there is, look, if you put yourself out there and you guys are doing anything in your life and you're consistent about it, people are going to catch on. You're going to get an audience, but you have to understand, and this is what we're seeing too, not everybody is going to like it, and that's okay. And they're entitled to their opinions. But I will guarantee, and I heard this one time, people who criticize you are rarely doing better than you are. It's usually people who want some sort of thing that you have, that you're doing, that they criticize you to then bring you back down. And I'm guilty of that myself, right?
Yeah.
Like I especially in the past. I've done that in past relationships with friends. So I get it. But it's something that you have to learn, you have to understand it, and move past it.
Something that I do that I don't know if it's healthy, I lean into it sometimes. Like if I get a comment, I'll be like, you're absolutely right. Yeah. You're like, absolutely. What do you think we should do? Like I lean into it just to rile them up a little more, which is probably not the mature thing to do, but it's fun.
It's better than responding in a bad way.
Yeah, because sometimes you do a showing and it's like someone come into an open house and they're very adversarial and just want to argue with you.
Yep.
So I'm like, I like lean into them. Like, yeah, you're right. This is way overpriced. You're absolutely right. And like, you just kind of appease them.
No, it's a good point.
Because you're not going to win them over, so you might as well have a little fun.
Yes. And you've told me some great stories on that. But honestly, sometimes also, and this is what I'm trying to do now, people are just angry in life, right? They're angry at their situation. They're not happy with where they're at. I need to learn, and this is going to be a topic for 2021 when we talk about that, is still being empathic and choosing empathy to those people, because for whatever reason in their life, they're not happy. So I need to find a way to not belittle them even more than they're already feeling. I need to choose the opposite thing, understand kind of where they're coming from, realize that that's not that's really not how you feel. Right. And you probably don't want to act that way, but something is going on in your life that's making you feel that way. So I want to choose empathy all the time.
Yeah. Empathy is a good move. I don't understand what you're saying right now and don't empathize with it. But
Very good, Michael. Very good. Launched the merch.
Yes.
That was a big one. Tell everybody the Webby.
NoSnoozeShop.com. And we're not going to lie, we've had some bumps with deliveries and things, understandably, during COVID.
Yep.
We're working through those. We're excited for 2021.
Yes. Some new designs coming too.
Some new variations. We're not going to go too over the top. It's not going to be like,
we're going to put like Mike's face on a t-shirt and sell it.
That bestseller.
Yeah.
Especially to that one guy. He'll love that one. But some fun stuff in the pipeline.
We should do a Team Mike, Team Dave. Sure,
it'd be pretty fun.
I'll buy 1,000 to make you feel terrible.
Yeah, I'll just wear yours around.
I'll be empathetic about it though. I promise.
Yeah. So the shop's been good though. It's been I have to get organized on that front because there is, and this is like inside baseball for a lot of people. There's so many ways to buy things these days, and services, Apple Pay, Google Pay, all that. It's unbelievable the variations in the way stuff's coming in. So, we'll figure out what's the best way to buy for us and the way we make the most money, and I'll let you guys know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good
Not
stuff.
you guys, the people buying. Tell them to buy a certain way so we make more money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Orgain sponsorship, right? Even though you just spoke about your IsoPure.
IsoPure. Pretty good.
IsoPure is good, though. I'm not going to lie.
It's good.
They are good.
And I don't think you can just have one protein. If you want all your protein needs, you go to Orgain for sure. That's the foundation. But it's not bad to mix in other things because everyone's got benefits.
I agree totally. But the Orgain is great because of the plant-based, right? So, and I'm sure other companies do it. But IsoPure actually is great because aren't they they're no carb, right?
No
or
carb,
extremely
but
low carb.
The Orgain might be nice because it might be lower cal, which I'm all about.
Yep. But you have a big box brand like that that we actually utilize the product, reaches out, ends up doing a deal with us. So
that was fun.
That was nice. So we've had some really good successes along this year in terms of the podcast. Are we ready to dive into some of the things that we put out there for episode 2? And just to give context, our second episode ever, we did an episode on goals where Mike and I sat down and we basically spoke about some goals for 2020.
Yep.
So here we are at the end of 2020, and we are about to share what was fulfilled and what was not fulfilled, and then some stuff leading into 2021.
Yeah, love it.
All right.
You want to start us off? Because Daddy over here doesn't have too many I fulfilled.
Well, I remember speaking on a financial goal, and that one was fulfilled. And the reason why it was fulfilled is because of the system. We always talk about systems that was in place. Thank God, because of COVID, our full-time jobs stayed the same, right? I work local government, wife's a teacher, the salaries remain the same. So we were able to achieve the goal by just strictly sticking to the system that was in place. If you want to call it, I just don't want to give the actual dollar amount, but use $500 as a round number. And we were able to, every single paycheck, put away that same amount of money, call it $500, do that every month, to then add it up at the end of the year to have a successful financial goal.
Beautiful.
Right? And $500 is a lot of money.
And that just was to a savings account to be prepared for whatever the application is.
So the other side of that, there was I used to have a really good consulting gig, and also working within Westchester County, and that opportunity, I had it in January, had it in February. By March 15th, it's completely gone. So I ended up losing out on $30,000 for the year, but was still able to buckle down and do the financial side of things, which taught me a lot, because it showed me that I was spending a lot of money on places that really didn't need to be spent. But I did lose that. I lost that job. And that was a tough hit for me. I'm not going to lie. I think it was, what I noticed? When I lose things, or I fall, or I fail in a process,
you could use the word.
It gets to my head.
Okay.
Right? Like, and it's a mental battle. I think the idea of me basically being fired is a terrible thing, right? So it didn't sit well with me. So once I got over that and realized, okay, well, we have to budget different ways, you know what? We ended up doing all right. And then tied to that, because there was also the investment property that we were interested in. We made some moves in our initial investment property that we already have. We redid a deck to get some more money, created a new entrance. So that side of things was great. But we did not. And this was a fail. This was a fail versus a fall, because no progress whatsoever was made towards an additional investment property.
You saved money.
No, it's not progress, because to me, no, that was a separate. Those were two separate.
Yeah, but you still have your liquid in other areas, which allow you to.
I guess, but to me, when I always talk fail versus fall, right? Failing is exactly what I did, because it's not like I, put offers in on 4 homes and it just didn't work out, and that was outside of my control. This was, I didn't even put myself in a position. And I remember speaking, as a partnership with my mother-in-law, because she's getting ready to retire. Didn't even really have the conversation because of all the stuff that was going on. But at the end of the day, I still could have made another investment, and I didn't. I failed.
Okay.
I did. I definitely did. But I did make the Peloton investment.
Yes.
So that was good, but not in the lane that I wanted to with real estate.
Yep. Which isn't the worst thing. It's not bad that you still made progress. So
thank you, Michael. I appreciate the the pat on the back.
You're welcome. That's what we try to do here. We try to encourage and inspire. Now, so I also took a step back as far as like a salaried type situation. This year was interesting because it was the first year where I cut the umbilical cord, so to speak, to the firm, because I was assisting the owners. So I would make a certain amount each year based on what they helped generate, or what I helped them with. Okay. So there was a stipend, a weekly pay, or a monthly pay, weekly, a weekly pay, and then bonuses throughout the year that were guaranteed, basically. So this was the first year where I didn't have that. So that's something I had to overcome, and I was able to, and I beat my previous year and replaced that income with my own business, which I failed at the commercial deals, which we talked about. I was going to do 5. I had about 7, anywhere from 3 to 7.
Wait, specify a little bit. You wanted to close 5 deals.
I wanted to deals in commercial, basically 5 commercial deals. So before COVID, I had all this action going on in the commercial world. I had a deal that I was just about to sign, so I was kind of hedging my bet. I was already going to, have one in the chamber. COVID hit, lost everything. All commercial got destroyed in general. The market tightened up, and then when I went on my listing appointments, it was me against this other big-time agent in town. I kept getting rejected and losing deals to this woman. Come to find out, she's been talking poorly about me to everyone that she has been interviewing with. And I found that through another client, which made me giggle, and I got emotional and pissed off, and then I doubled down on the commercial stuff, which wasn't smart because our residential arm is doing very well. And it was my first year where I'm doing everything mostly independently. So the positive is that I beat my previous year, which is what I wanted to do. On my own, I didn't get any type of bonus, no type of, basically salary-free, 100% commission this year. But the negative was that I did work on commercial, and I learned a ton. I actually got a job offer from a commercial agent.
Nice.
And he wanted me to start the firm for him in Greenwich. I rejected it. Great guy. But I made progress on that front, but I failed miserably at the goal because I had 0 deals in the commercial world this year. But it was a win on the residential side. So
Not to toot your horn.
there was a lot of stuff in there that I just unpacked.
No, but it's great. And honestly, I think when we speak about these things, the vulnerability is big. So we're okay with we don't like it, but we understand that we take losses too.
Yeah. She's dominated me. She beat me out on 5 listings in a row. Every time I'm like, if you don't mind me asking, who are you using? And they say the name. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It just kills
Every time, dude.
Yeah.
5 in a row.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
But not to pat you on the back too much, but I will say when COVID hit, I saw you make an extreme adjustment quickly with the virtual stuff. And I'm sure it took a ton of time, but I think that in itself showed people how innovative you were, and how willing to get the job done that you were. And by any means necessary, you were willing to do what it takes. And look where you're at. I mean, a year where you didn't take a salary and you were 100% commission based, and you're doing the way that you're doing. I mean, that's a good thing.
Well, the doubt we talk about, right? Think about this. I had the meeting with my company, and they're great. There's nothing against them, but we basically decided to part ways as far as me helping them and assisting them. Literally before the new year, 3 months into the new year, right when everything's going to start to really take off, like our busiest time, COVID hits.
Yep.
I'm like, holy baby, literally on the way.
Right.
2 months until his baby's here, and I didn't think the market was going to go crazy. I'm like, I have to sell properties. I don't know what I'm going to do. It was wild. It was a wild time. But thank you for the adjusting quickly. Everything took so much longer and still does because you have to do these. You have to sign off on everything. Every showing, I have to wear a mask. Like, it's just, there's a lot of variables now. Yeah. But it's good. It makes you tighter.
On the professional, staying there, I had set a goal for a social media entrepreneurship with youth. It was a great program.
The youth.
Right?
I like how you said
that. And then specifically, it's more high school based and young college students. So I go in front of the board. I spoke about this on episode 2, that this was the initiative that I wanted to bring to the local municipality that I'm in. Bring the program, create this nice proposal, pitch it to the town board, unanimous decision. It's a go. The program itself was funded for like $50,000 to $60,000. And then my salary adjustment was about $25,000. So I remember this happening on the first town board meeting in February, full approval. I remember I sent you the video of basically our town leadership, acknowledging the fact that this program was good, because I'm thinking of the goals episode. I'm like, man, I really spoke this thing to existence. They moved the money over, right? Everything is good, gold. As soon as COVID hits us, the town board had to retract all new money that was put into the current budget. So that $50,000 gone, the salary adjustment gone. So the goal failed.
Gold. Yeah, gone.
Yeah, what was that, gold?
Gold. That says gone and failed to have one. Gold.
But
that's rough.
I mean, you can't. And then again, I was like, wow, you know what? There's another hit. I'm taking it. And I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I was upset about it. But having that not go through was a blessing, because I was thinking of this. When COVID did happen, everything basically became online. So it would have behooved them, right? It would have been smart of them to actually go through with this, because then they would have had me doing new things on social media and having to innovate in a time when we should have. So it's actually a missed opportunity by all of us as a town, which, sucks in the long run, but we'll come up with something for 21. But that goal, not accomplished.
And let me specify, when we're talking this way and being a little negative towards not achieving the goals. We appreciate that we were even able to accomplish a lot during this time, and that a lot of people are in worse positions. We're just doing it for the dramatic effect of the episode. So don't take it the wrong way of like, woe is us. We're just commenting on our failures for the year.
Well, on the
I'd
truths.
like to specify that because a lot of people are in really tough positions right now.
100%.
And we're just, commenting on our goals we set for ourselves. And we appreciate that we were even have jobs and we're able to function this year because a lot of people weren't.
That's right.
Just want to specify that.
Well said, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
And that's something that as a staff, right, we actually always talk about because personally for us, we were essential. We were deemed essential from the beginning, and we had to report back to work. It was after 4 or 5 weeks, everybody kind of came back. Some people came back 6, 8, maybe 10 weeks at max. There's still people working from home within the same town as us. So we have staff, we have team members of ours that see that and they're like, look, I could be working from home too. So we had to all humble ourselves and say, look, we're very appreciative to just have a job and to have this opportunity to still receive a salary to feed our families during this time. So well said, and thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, you're very welcome. The other thing with all these failures that we're mentioning, it makes you reevaluate if that's something you actually want to do, right? So, like, hear me out. So the commercial thing did not go the way I planned. I spent a ton of money on commercial marketing. So, well, not a ton, a lot. So to not have done any deals and kind of get your toe in the water, I paid for my own CoStar membership. It's $400 a month. So whether I sell a deal or not, or do a deal or not, I'm spending $400 a month just to get access to all the info, right? The other thing that happened was our commercial division was sold to another company and they left the building. So instead of having a commercial person to go to for advice and like a foot in the door, we don't have anyone. So literally I was getting these opportunities and going to like my principal broker and be like, what do you think? Like, do you have time? Like, and I just had to kind of research everything, get prepared to have my meeting. And it exposed that I need to get better in that avenue, and it's not as easy as I thought it would be to pivot. But then I started to evaluate, and I'm like, I want to do commercial deals, but I don't want to do leasing. Like, I don't have time to work on leases. I want to sell buildings, because if I'm selling buildings, all of that research is for the ultimate goal of getting rid of the building, and it's more applicable, and it's a better use of my time versus just trying to do lease a building, right? Like, if I'm going to go into that avenue, now I'm going to say no to leases. And the other thing I didn't know is that a lot of people don't offer a commission on leases. So when you're doing a commercial lease, a lot of times they don't even offer a commission for another agent.
Doing it?
Exactly. So there's not a lot of agents. The reason there were so many
relationships,
leads,
I guess.
The reason there were so many leads is because no one gets paid to do leases a lot of the time in commercial deals. I didn't know that. I just knew I had all these people that need to find properties, and I'll work hard to get them. And then you talk to enough brokers, and you realize, oh wow, that's why these people are flown around, because they're going directly to the leasing agent at the place, and I'm trying to insert myself into a process that doesn't need me, So it was a very illuminating year on that front, but it was very humbled by realizing like I can't do it as easy as I need some type of support system. I don't know if it makes sense for me to go and do this when residential is booming the way it is. So it's when you fail, sometimes you learn how to move forward and be successful in the future, even if that's not immediately after you failed, right? Like it might cool off. I might not do a deal for another 2 years, but I've learned enough that when that opportunity presents itself, I'll be ready, type of thing.
Well said. I will say, to piggyback on the learning curve for me, you always hear it from people, and I'm sure when I say, it'll be like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but realizing what truly matters to you, right? And having the time to do the things that you enjoy and want to do. So me missing out on $30,000, I mean, seriously though, $30,000 from the consulting gig and another $25,000 to $30,000 on the salary adjustment. You're talking between $50,000 and $60,000.
It's a lot
of missed money. And I will tell you that I had the best year of my marriage in 2020. And partially, well, a lot of it was obviously because of the baby, but the mindset had to change. I was so gun-ho money hungry that I lost sight of what really mattered to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I was now able to, work a normal job and get home at 6:00 at night, I enjoy these little moments with my family. So if that money came to me, it would have been great. We probably would have been able to do, a couple additional things as a family, maybe another investment here or there. But the result of the failures or the falling is that I had the best family year that I've ever had.
Well said. It has been being forced to work from home for a period of time, even like a shorter period of time, really makes you rework a lot of the things so that you're able to be home more, especially with the baby, because we say it all the time, but they change so fast.
Oh, it's incredible.
And being able to wake up at 4:45, which I haven't done great in the last couple of weeks, just for whatever reason.
You're not even setting an alarm, are you?
No, I am. So
are you?
What happened was one night we had Dana ordered a mattress and it came like in a day. So I was in the middle of all of our construction we're doing. Now there's a new bed. Our bed's huge. I barely was able to get it up into the bed or into our room initially, but I had to remove it so we could put this new bed in and let it rise like it's a piece of bread. So that one night I was like, well, you know what? There's a snowstorm.
Oh, let's
make the best of it. Let's put the bed in the living room.
You did make it.
So everyone slept. I'm like, I'm not waking up at 4:45 just sitting here and being quiet while they're all asleep. Like, I'm going to embrace it and I'll enjoy myself. So that day I didn't wake up.
No, I was asking more in terms of.
Oh, like I'm just waking up, no problem?
Yeah, because of the baby. Like, I'm thinking like,
well,
you're not
sleeping good.
That's awesome.
That's been a night and day thing, literally.
Really?
Having a 4:45, 5 o'clock until like 7:30 has been way easier to get stuff done.
That's incredible. That is. So Callie's, I mean, she sleeps through the night too, but she goes to bed so early. She's so tired. I don't know why. Somehow she adopted the same schedule that her father's on.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably because I was waking her up at 5 o'clock in the morning since she was born. But yeah, her body just wakes up between 4 and 5 o'clock now. So the time that I used to have to myself before I worked out, now it's with the baby, which is cool. I mean, we have a blast together. But it's just it's different than what it was.
We did a cried out night. Remember I was telling you about that?
Yes, much stronger than we are because we have not done that.
My dad was so mad at me when I was talking about it with him. I'm like, we had to because she wasn't sleeping. We were dying. So basically, you just let the baby cry, and you're supposed to do it for like weeks. One night, she did it for 45 minutes straight of crying.
Wow.
You can tell when it's like a whine cry and not like a I need help cry. We fed her. We gave her, we changed her diaper. She was ready to go to bed, and you just couldn't go into the room. So we listened to her cry for 45 minutes. But ever since that day, she slept great.
Wow, that's great.
One day, we lucked out. But she'll cry and then go back to sleep, but it's only like 5 minutes, 3 minutes. But until that time, 45 minutes of crying, she didn't sleep through the night. Now she's doing like 8:30 to 7:30, which is incredible. So
that is great.
We're really enjoying that. We got her down like one of the second nights where it was happening. And I was like, what do you want to do? She's like, I don't know. Because she usually goes to bed at like 10.
Yeah.
So by the time she goes to bed, we go to bed. So I'm like, let's watch True Love Island, which I'm obsessed with. The UK version. Huh.
It's good.
Great show. It's boring, but it's trash TV.
Great show, but it's boring.
It's boring. It's just a lot of it's trash. It's ultimate trash TV, but I'm embracing it. Dana's converted me to trash TV fanatic.
Wow.
But point being, this whole process, waking up at 4:45, doing the no snooze life, has the new reason for doing it, where days I don't need to, like I have the time, I don't need to wake up at 4:45, is because then I can get my stuff done and then be able to come home early for the baby or kind of just unwind and not feel guilty. My thing is I always feel guilty, like I should be doing more, because you have all these people that are depending on you to find homes, sell homes, and when you don't do anything for a day, even if there's nothing really to do to push the needle, you still feel guilty. So by doing a bunch of things early, getting emails out, doing reports, freshening a listing, you feel less guilty in the rest of the day, and you're able to be more available for the family. So that's been a good change.
Yes, sir.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NOSNOOZE30. Again, that's NOSNOOZE30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
I don't know, Mike. We got to set new goal. I don't want to come back here, though, in 21.
But we got a lot done.
I know.
The push-up goal, 29,000 in a month.
Yep,
it was technically 30, but
I
had the baby.
I will
that day. That's why I didn't get the 1,000 on that day.
I don't view that, and you say it's a fail. I don't view that as a fail because you got so close to the damn goal. And yeah, you might have fell off, but that's not a fail. So
the lost weight, I didn't do it by the end of March, like I said I would originally.
Yep.
You know, pregnant wife. I wasn't strong enough for it. Couldn't fight it. My systems weren't strong enough. But today I'm at 200 pounds, so
looking
I
lean
achieved
too.
it. It took a while sometimes, so we got stuff done.
Yeah, no, definitely got stuff done. But I'm in the market for a big year.
Are you now?
A big year.
So what's a big year look like for you? Are we diving into that?
Yeah, I think we should.
Big year 2021. Are we going to make absurd goals that we didn't achieve again this year? Or what?
No. But again, I think it's good to, you take the losses on the chin, right?
Yeah, I'm making a bold goal, but
Bold
it's
goal.
achievable.
I like that. Bold goal.
It's achievable. It's smart. But I'm going to make a couple bold ones.
What does SMART stand for, Michael?
I'm going to grow 6 inches. I'm just kidding.
What does
SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, tactical.
Hey, I like tactical.
What is T?
Timeline?
Timeline, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, Tony the timeline.
All right, so how are we going into this? What is David, Regina? What does a big year look like for you for 2021?
All right, so let's start. We'll start personal, right? And within personal goals, I think fitness falls into that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, things that you want to work on within your character, that type of stuff. So I'm talking a big year as a whole, obviously as a as a dad and a husband as well.
Okay.
But the first one, because I always use it as my tool to grow personally.
Yes.
That is fitness, right? People view it as strictly fitness. I view it literally as a tool for personal growth, right? Because I know that not only is that going to make me stronger physically, but even better, I'm going to be mentally tougher. I'm going to be emotionally tougher. And that translates to every other thing in my life. So I want to put it out there. And Mike's going to say it's easy.
Am I?
I want to get 260 full-blown workouts in for the year.
I love that terminology. Full blown.
Well, full-blown workouts, because a lot of people say, I'm going to do something active every day, which is great. Kudos to you. But I'm talking.
So, you said that so condescending. It's great. Kudos to you.
No, seriously. Kudos to you for doing something active every day, right? I hope I'm active every day, but I'm talking a full-blown workout for 260 days out of 365 days in the year.
Okay.
So that turns out to 5 workouts a week.
Okay.
Right? But for 52 weeks. So that's just a personal goal that I know is attainable. I know that I'm going to reach it, but that adds confidence the first day in January when I work out, that's 1 out of 260. And I just get closer to that 260 number. This one is going to be hard though. It's still in fitness. I want to get down to 10% body fat.
Love that.
And it's tough. And I need your advice here.
Talk to me.
So I got on the scale with I had all these electrodes things on it. I don't know. But I get on it and it measures my body fat, right? So I did it after I worked out over at Level Fitness. Shout out to you guys. I want to say 13.4% body fat. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, this is good, because before I was 12.7, got down to 11.2. I don't think I've ever walked around 10% body fat unless I was in high school and I was like super skinny, right? You remember those days.
Yeah.
But then they tell me, listen, man, these numbers are great, but do it before you work out because the numbers are going to be in your favor even more. So I did it the next day.
Wait, why would they be before you work out more?
I don't know. They just said that would be the best way to do it is before you work out first thing in the morning.
Got it.
Right? So you don't have anything in your system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it made sense.
Less
so
in your
I was
system
excited, Mike. So I do it again, and I was all the way up to 14.7.
Listen, I'm telling you that Pelly. It's adding.
So I'm somewhere in between the 13 and 14.7 mark right now.
Yeah. See, the only thing about the body fat challenge, which I'm absolutely in, but
You're going to get down to 10%?
yeah,
I like it.
here's the problem. I don't know if our measuring methods are accurate. Nothing drives me more crazy than doing something and then not knowing if it's correct.
I was so upset. You're exactly right, because I was pissed.
And it could have been wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to guess that it's somewhere in between, but now I guess I have to do it again twice, right? I should do it again, like every month I'm going to do it.
See, I would want to weigh in like every week, body percent, or like I would like to do it. I like to do things often. So whatever we do to try to figure it out, I would have to do it constantly.
And we got to do it the same way, right? Like we have to get like a scale that kind of does the same thing.
Yeah, like if it's, I don't know how accurate a scale is, but I would imagine if you're on the same scale, maybe it's a little more accurate. But getting down to that type of body fat percentage, A, is going to be difficult. And then B, the area of error, like if it's off by 2%, that's a lot.
Oh, that's a major.
You know, if you're 8 versus 10, that's huge as far as everything.
I don't think we're getting down to 8.
No, but at point whatever, right? So if it's like 10.20, there's probably multiple decimal points in a body fat percentage thing. I would guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done it.
Let's put it out there officially. I'm going 10% April 1st.
Okay.
Right.
What how much do you think you're going to weigh at 10% body fat?
I can't get below 220.
You can't.
No, I
So
mean, I
it's gonna
can't.
be,
No. I can. Of course I can.
But I think you're going to have to, because are you going to be able to add muscle
Yes.
so that you think it's going to be a muscle add,
Yep.
fat loss, but stay the same weight?
So
See, I think you're going to lose weight.
I have to take month 1 to try what I believe to work,
Yeah.
gauge it, and then reevaluate it and tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
So the first month, I'm going to do what I believe I know is going to work, right? I could be wrong. But it's keeping my protein level high, my carbs low, which I typically do, but now I have to restrict them even more.
Yeah.
But then my fat content actually has to be pretty high.
Really?
Yeah. My
Good fats.
my healthy fats. Exactly. Saturated fat is the bad fat.
This is good, though. This is going to this goal, which I'm in, is going to incorporate well with my other goal for that. So that's good. And I'll get into that after. But so I think I have a good system in place already, and I'm in a good groove where I just need to tweak some stuff and incorporate more fitness, and then I'll be good.
Yes.
But I think I'm going to go for a weight. I'm going to shoot for a weight number 2.
What is that?
Because I think for me to get down in that low, I need to be at like 190.
I don't know. Well, first you got to measure yourself first, because see where you're at now. Because I mean, if you're at 12% or 20%, that's gonna be a big difference.
Do you think there's possible that I'm at like a 20% at 200 pounds? Do you think I'm just
Yes.
Is it possible?
So
Am I getting into another bet where I'm gonna be like, holy hell, I'm 40% body fat. I'm literally just a blob. Like I look like I'm functional in fitness, but it's literally just
They call that skinny fat.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you calling me skinny fat?
No. I'm not calling you skinny fat. You look great. But if I had to guess, I would say you're like
give me a ballpark.
18%.
Really? That high?
Yeah, I think so. Because remember, 15 to 17%.
You think it's in my legs?
What?
Do you think it's my legs?
Yeah, definitely in the
lower
dairy
half?
in the dairy
thighs?
air.
I do have some big thighs.
In the dairy air.
Okay.
The 15 they say like 15% is athletic. So
dude, you're calling me not athletic?
No,
At least
no.
the very least I'm athletic.
15 to 17% is athletic.
Wow. You said I'm over. So what is 18?
I'm going to laugh when
We need
my
to do the
man
weigh
gets
in.
on there and he's 22% and he's like, yo, you were right.
It's just it can't take a read. It's like, how's this possible?
No, but the 10% is going to be tough. We're not competing. We're doing this together.
Yeah, we both want to get there.
And by the way, we want to encourage everybody. It's the start of the year, right? And if you did wait, join in with us. You don't have to get down to 10%, but I had posted the other day,
that was good.
Just saying, would anybody be interested in putting themselves out there? So what we're looking for is people to actually email us or DM us. Let us know how much weight you want to lose, and we will have a conversation every single week.
Yeah.
And see the progress.
We'll check in with the people.
And then I want to actually total the entire weight loss between this group, right?
Yeah.
Say we got like 20 people to join us, and by the end of this challenge, we lost 500 pounds as a as a crew.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think that's really cool. I think it's something that can motivate people and encourage others. And that's just what we're looking to do. We're accountability partners. We want you guys to join us. So if that's the case, are you in?
Yeah, if we get down to 10, I'm taking my shirt off on this.
We'll just do the podcast.
I'm just gonna do it with my shirt off.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
just
gonna
do
have this, but no shirt underneath.
just the vest, right?
If I get down to 10 in time for about like when it's gonna start getting warm out and like COVID's hopefully gone, I will be seen without a shirt all the time.
I've been saying it. My favorite. I wasn't able to do it. One, because I didn't look that good with my shirt off this year.
I thought you looked fine. You're perfect.
But really what I'm looking forward to is I see myself walking on the beach.
Oh, here
Beard
we go.
is dangling nice. Backwards hat. And I have the...
backwards.
No, this is the look that I'm envisioning, right? My daughter on my... what's it called?
The
carrier.
tactical...
Yeah, the carrier. The tactical carrier. And just walking down the beach, and then people being like, "Look at that fit dad."
Wow, that's what you're going for.
That's what I want.
I want people to see me and be like, "He must be athletic."
He must be below 15% body fat.
That's a good goal, though. I like that. The body fat percentage thing is a fun one because I've never done that.
Me neither.
So it's going to be uncharted territory for
I've
both of us.
never done it, but I think it's cool as we get older.
Is that an insane goal? Are we like? I don't have any reference point for. Can we pull up a picture of someone with 10% body fat?
Mike's
I need a
reaction,
reference. I'm
he's
getting
gonna be
worried.
like, holy hell!
Yeah, I'm
But
getting
seriously,
worried.
10% body fat.
So while you're looking that up, I'll talk about my goal for a personal goal for being active. I want to do average 10,000 steps a day for the entire year. So if I want to do 10,000 a day minimum.
That's a lot.
Some days I'm going to do more.
Wait. How many miles is that?
Steps? 10,000 steps?
How many miles? Well, 5,280
Oh, 10,000
feet.
steps isn't that many
Is a
for a
mile.
day. 10,000 steps. Well, I did that competition with, there was a crew who did a running competition. I walked and I did like 90 miles in a month and I just smashed everyone because all I did was walk. Are these people absolutely ripped? So mine's going to be, I want to get to 10,000 steps a day, average.
That seems pretty accurate right there.
25. I might be 25. Holy hell. Okay. Yeah.
So
10
Mike is
10's
looking.
not-
Mike is looking at a photo that I pulled up with the different
Damn,
percentages
I might be
and
like
what
25.
males look like.
But you don't have those abs.
No, hell
You're
no.
not 12.
Let me see.
Can you take your shirt off? You don't have to be on
I
camera.
just ate
back
sushi.
up.
I just ate sushi. Let me see.
So we all just ate sushi.
Wait, let me see that.
Do you think you do have abs?
Not like that.
Then you're not 12.
No, I said I'm between 13
Yeah,
and
you
15.
might be 15. I bet you I'm 15 because if I flex real hard, I have a couple abs. I'm athletic. 25 is pretty close to 15 though. It's one good meal to go from 15 to 25.
Oh, easy,
So
right?
on a Sunday, I might be like a 30, and then on like a normal day, it might be more in the 15 range.
So I just gave Mike a visual. He was able to look at what 10% looks like.
9.5.
versus
This dude is ripped.
Ripped, right? I know. It's crazy. I don't know if...
I mean, we said it, right?
Yeah, whatever.
And what's worst case? We do a goals episode at the end of the year and say we didn't do it?
Yeah, we just delete the episode. Tell him it malfunctioned.
Okay, that's a good one. So incorporated that. I'm going to do my 10,000 steps a day, which there's this whole thing about, there's a terminology. It's called NEAT. It's like when you're not actively working out. It's just a lifestyle optimization thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a standing desk. So when I get the Apple Watch, the standing up time is going to be interesting. Yeah, back and forth.
Can you just do that, right?
With the baby bounce around. Once the baby starts walking,
chasing her.
the amount of times I get up and down from sitting down is insane.
How many times are you picking up rattles and toys from the bouncer that they throw off? My whole
just whip it off.
Yeah, and then you put it there, and then it's just gone the next second.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, by the way,
Jump roping counts as steps too.
that's true.
Which-
But officially, I have lost terribly. Callie is saying "mama,
Oh, yeah, I heard
mama,
that.
mama." So hopefully, Livy will come through for the dads
Mhm.
and say "dad, first."
That would be nice.
Because Callie, I tell you, she is nowhere near any duh sound of anything.
Duh.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So you're all we got left.
I got no shot though too because we
No.
call her Lil Mama, so there's no way.
And that's what Karina said. She said,
Yeah.
I call her mama, and I call her mama too. So,
Which
yeah,
is
that's
kind of
why.
a weird nickname for your daughter because you're like, "What's up, Mama?" And then you're like, "Yeah, it's weird." So
Yeah.
we might have to change it.
Call her dad.
So the 10% thing's going to be fun. We have to figure out the scale thing because that's, for me, as we know, I like to measure myself constantly. I have the calorie stuff going. I think I'm in a good position to try to get this. That's a lot, though.
I think so.
10%'s a lot.
Circling back on the personal goals.
Yes.
Right? I just want to put it out there that last year I said I wanted to focus on becoming a better listener.
Failed miserably at that.
I believe that I have gotten better than I was last year. Not perfect by any means, but I would say that that's an accomplished goal because a lot of progress was made.
Yeah.
This year, I want to build off of that success and choose empathy, like I said before. That is the hardest thing that I believe it basically ties into the fitness in a negative way because the fitness mindset is the tool for personal growth, but it's a very push, keep going mentality. Whereas empathy is taking a step back and seeking to understand where somebody is coming from. It's like the opposite of that. So it's tough for me, but it's something that I'm going to choose. My therapist, shout out, his name is Mike. Right?
Yeah, we know him. Your therapist.
Mike Pirelli, you know?
No wonder you have all these issues. I'm your therapist.
So Mike laid it down for me, and he said, you know, it's incredible to me that you set these goals, and you do a good job doing it, right? And he goes, it's so easy for you to set these fitness-based goals, but now if you just took the same mindset and you applied it to the empathy piece or any other goal, you'll be the most successful man in the world.
But how do you measure empathy? That's my question.
So I said, how do I, exactly that. I said, well, how am I going to measure that? He goes, just like you do fitness, right? Your mindset, you've told me that when you say you're going to do 10 or 15 reps, you do 16 reps, right? So now when you're in an argument with your wife, right? And you know that you have to walk out of that argument, you have to sit in that uncomfortable space just as you would in that fitness mindset and do that extra rep. Now you do the extra rep in your marriage and you stay there and you choose empathy versus walking away.
I was leading in my head. I'm like, is he saying sit down and argue a little more? Because I do that already.
Right? He's like, yeah, I'm winning. But you understand?
Yes.
So when he put that to me like that, I was like, oh,
yeah,
this is good.
Yeah.
And it's so true and that's why I believe fitness, again, this should be the title. I've said it 500 times.
Yeah.
Is a tool for personal growth. So if I apply that same mindset to this empathy piece, I'll be good.
Love it.
Bringing it to you.
That's good.
You said something at the beginning, well, that was the end of 19 going into 20, that about your time.
Yes.
Right? And I think looking in, I mean, look from the outside in, I think you did a tremendous job with that. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, thank you. I am getting much better at
first
protecting my time.
Yeah.
That was my theme for this year, protect your time. So one of the things that I did was I had the tough conversation with my company and basically decided to work on my own stuff. So I, by doing that, I controlled my schedule more, which is a big plus because now I'm not, to some extent, clients dictate where your schedule is to some extent. But a lot of the times I was working with other people to cover them. So I was getting thrown things and not able to plan as well as I would have liked. And it took me away from family stuff that I wasn't able to plan ahead of time and work around it, right? So by doing that, I freed up that. I said no to, or I unfortunately told my networking groups I can no longer be a part of this. I love what we did. I enjoyed meeting everyone, but it just doesn't make sense with the new schedule with the baby. I want to spend more time with my family, and as much benefit potentially can come out of it, it's just not a great use of my time at the moment. So everyone was very understandable. I said no to 2 of those. There's with the baby going in, I used to go into the office sometimes when I woke up and go in super early.
That was to avoid push-ups.
Twofold, to avoid push-ups and show them doing something. But I, to some extent, still do it because the baby now sleeps to 7:30. But staying with the baby until Dana's up and we do a swap and I get into the office a little later, I just have to do a couple more things earlier on and be a little more organized to make sure. So the biggest thing is saying no to the wrong stuff, right? So like I used to travel pretty far to do things or take on certain projects, or like I was approached by someone in my company to work with them on a deal, and being able to say no to that now versus in the past, I would say yes to everything, has made my life, I mean, it's still a very stressful business, but being able to control what you put yourself into as far as deals, you're able to control it a little better. And by being in control a little better as far as what deals, and I'll give an example, you're able to protect your time a little more. For example, I realize that not all deals are created equally. If there's a property that is vacant, meaning no one's in the property, and you could put a key box on it, yes, I'm going to show the property when it makes sense, but when I am not able to show the property, it can still be shown. So my time for a listing where it's vacant, the return on that is a lot better than when I have someone who's, for example, a 90-year-old client, and every time I show it, I have to work around them or get them out of the property or just be at every showing. So that neither are wrong, but I would take a higher priced, more aggressive, tougher to sell vacant property than a higher priced property with someone in it.
Makes sense.
I have the luxury of being a little farther along in my career to make that decision now, but that is a big thing that this year I've had the luxury of doing and has helped me protect it a little more. That being said, business is growing. The market is insane. So although I'm protecting my time, I've worked more than I've ever worked. Especially, I came from an appointment today. To do a listing appointment, it's not uncommon, but this late in December is insane. And the conversation is, I'm going to get your house in the market in January 1. Insane.
Yep.
So although I got so good at that, it didn't feel like I made progress because I still worked every weekend for 52 weekends. So that's been a struggle because although I'm making progress, it feels like I took a step back, even though I didn't really. Right. I have more volume right now. So the way I'm trying to counteract that into 2021 is I'm really focusing on Greenwich and Stanford, but Greenwich will get the priority. So anything coming up, I've been referring out everything from now on. I still have a couple of deals I'm working on that are outside of my areas, but 2021 I won't be taking any new things on just because I can't.
Yep.
The other thing I want to mention about failing is this year I've lost more listings and listing appointments than ever before by like double, but it's because I'm in the position to do that now, and I've gained more than I've ever had. But it's a weird dynamic when you're failing more than you ever failed, but you're making progress. It's so bizarre. So like this mental talk we talk about, by having that, you're able to push through, but it's so weird because you're like, holy hell, I just lost 4 deals.
But the volume's different.
Yeah, you lose 4 deals in a month, and you still close 3. You did 3, which is more than 1 you did last year, but you lost 4, which was more than 1 last year. So it's weird. It's a bizarre. It's a numbers game. Makes a lot of sense. But it's very bizarre.
Now, question for you: what is the focus on a personal level on a goal? If last year was the time, what is this year for you?
So this year's still the time because of the baby. So I've really enjoyed spending as much time as possible with the baby.
Do you have any different verbiage?
Yes. So this year, instead of protect your time, it's return on time. So what I'm trying to look at is like I was saying with listings or, events with Dana. If I'm doing something, I want it to be impactful, right? So rather than say, it's great to like hang at home, but can we do something that's going to be memorable? Dana's going to enjoy herself. We'll get the baby out, to be with my parents instead of staying in and having dinner together. Can we go out to dinner with the family? So I get to hang with the family. I get to hang with the baby. Is there a better way to do stuff where you're getting, and the return on that time is like happiness, enjoyment, fulfillment. Whereas work-wise, it's like, yes, I have an appointment this weekend. Does it make sense to make that appointment happen versus doing this other thing with my family, which is tough because there's, the opportunistic view. So this year, the theme is to return on time.
I love it. Let's move professional. All right. We set the personal goals. Now, professional includes business. You just spoke a lot on business, and everything that you said just made a ton of sense. And it was well said, well thought out. And I think you're going to, I don't know how it's possible, but you're going to have an even better year than the explosive year you already had in 20.
Either that or I'm going to burn out.
I was just going to say either that or we're just blowing this thing up. I don't know.
Burn out. One of the two.
So from a professional standpoint, it's kind of hard for me to speak, I guess, exactly what it's going to be because I can't put too much out there.
Yeah.
Just because it is government based, and I don't want to do too much. And I know people at work, they are privy to the podcast, and that's great. So I don't want to say anything that could potentially offend people. With that, I will say with that, I will say that I am seeking a new opportunity.
Nice.
Full-blown opportunity. I'm talking whether it's a new job role or new job title. I prefer that to be within the same municipality that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is not, I'm still seeking that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a place where I believe that of 4 years sitting in this role now, I am destined for more.
Mm-hmm.
And this could happen through a couple different things. This could happen through a vacancy within our municipality. This could happen through recruitment of another municipality. But I feel that I have too much loaded in my mental gun. Right?
Yeah.
You understand?
I don't mean to laugh. You just sometimes you say stuff, and I'm like, "That's a hilarious visual." I would never say it that way, but I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
don't mean to laugh.
I have too much value that is just sitting upstairs right now,
loaded in your mental gun
that needs to be applied to the workplace.
Okay.
Right? New programs, new initiatives, new things, and I mean, it's just time that I am not only compensated, in that way, but my mind doesn't ever get to a complacent point to where I just am like, you know what? Yeah, I'm great where I'm at.
Yeah.
4 years of sitting in the same role. Yeah, there's, salary adjustments here and there. I'm ready for something new. So I wanted to put that out there because it's not going to be easy by any means, but I'm ready for it. And I know that if I put that work in to get it, that something is coming my way.
I like it. That's a great personal goal or professional goal, excuse me. And I need to load some stuff in the mental gun.
You like that one, huh?
I like that.
You like
that. Yeah, I mean, ultimately you want to beat the previous year, usually, right? So for me, this is kind of business, kind of personal. The goal is to get the next property this year. So last year was tough. There's a lot of readjusting, moving out of the salaried position, stipend type thing, going to 100% commission. But space-wise, renovation should be done, and our house should be ready to be rented if we make that option. It's just a matter of getting the next property and either moving into that or renting that property out. Most likely moving into the next house because it'll help us with space with the baby. And then we can generate some income from our previous house, which everything we did was to prep it to rent it out. So we're tenant proofing it currently. We're converting a fireplace to gas, so it's a little safer.
You're doing the opposite of what I'd love to do.
Yeah, but this is for your personal use, right?
Yes,
my lens of what we're doing, and I always joke with Dana, I'm like, yeah, it's great. You pick this stuff out. We're not going to be here that long. Who knows? We might not buy a house this year, and it's fine. My goal is to get one so that we can get the income from our last house. So there's a couple different things going on. We have a neighbor's house that came on the market right next to us, which may be an option. There's a family home that we're trying to sell currently that fell through that if it sticks around long enough, maybe that's an option, or something completely new. So that's a big goal personally, and professionally, because it lends all the real estate stuff is going to live within the Mike Pirelli Grants real estate brand. So all of it's going to be investment property. The next house is going to either be the forever house kind of thing or another stepping stone to get to the house. We don't know yet. So that's that one. And then work-wise, the commercial goals, I think I'm going to hold off. I know that now I'm open to selling a building, but I don't want to try to lease anything. So that's good. Residential-wise, I want to beat my previous year's, I can't disclose stuff, but beat the previous year's commission.
Yep.
And on top of that, Tell Mike Sent You, I wanted to do, I think 10 episodes. I think we're at like 20. So that's been a good
phenomenal
success.
show, by the way.
Thank you. I have to give credit like we do for this, with our wizard here.
Yep.
My partner in that is Chris Jones. He's been great. He's been, we're going to do a lot more video
Great name.
for listening. Chris Jones, right?
Chris Jones.
Hilarious. And he's a nice, he's local, nice
Yep.
guy. So that is an arm that I was putting in place that isn't a different business. It's just a complement to what we're already doing.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing that I am working on in the background is doing I call it Green Witch Capital. And it is a funding arm of my real estate stuff where I can actually give the seller of the property, primarily condos, the money to do the renovation so that we can sell their property and then recoup that cost with a little benefit. So I'm preparing that. It's not an additional business.
Yep.
It's just a tool
Right.
within my business. So
Makes sense. How is how is Greenwich Capital going to feel about that one?
That's why I said Green Witch Capital.
But is it spelt?
It's
different?
spelled green and then witch. Yes.
Gotcha.
So it's a play on words. My mom worked for Greenwich Capital, which was a huge hedge fund in town.
Right.
They made a ton of money. So I think it's tongue in cheek. It's kind of funny. So that's something that it's not a ton of work to put that in place.
Yeah.
But I would like to close one deal. See, I'm setting it, not 5. One deal to prove out that because there is some risk involved.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do one deal on a very small scale with a condo. So that's that strategy for the real estate stuff. So it's just beat the previous year in commissions and then roll out this new arm, which hopefully is going to help me beat the previous year because I'll have another tool.
Right.
So we'll see.
I love that. No,
Yeah.
those are great avenues. And again, it's another tool in the toolbox.
Yeah,
right?
and they all complement each other, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing what I'm doing enough in the real estate world, we'll have the capital to be able to buy the next house.
Yep.
If we buy the next house, we'll be flexible enough where, we're getting income from our previous house and rent. It all,
Mm-hmm.
if it all doesn't, it all works together if I'm doing it right.
Yep.
If I'm not, we're just,
Yeah. No, and a big part of us professionally is the No Snooze podcast.
Mhm.
So on that note, I think we want to. I have some specifics in the holster up here, Michael,
Yeah, love it.
and I want to work the Apple reviews. Right,
That's a good one.
And I think later down the road we'll talk about tactics and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I want to get to at least 500 Apple reviews.
Okay.
That puts us in a position to now that we have the content,
Mhm.
it's all about word of mouth, spreading the word, and now ultimately reaching the masses.
Mhm.
Right. So I want to work on that. Instagram, great growth this year. I expect us to be 25,000 with extreme engagement next year.
Love
right.
it.
So lofty goals,
Mhm.
but it's based off of data that was
Data sounds more like
data driven.
Yeah, data driven.
Well, it is true. It's data driven from last year's numbers times a certain amount. Whether it's 1.5 or 2, but still keeping it realistic is always the biggest thing. And then obviously us putting episodes out. We put 45 out this year, CV.
It's pretty good.
Right, that's great. I would eventually like to get to 52 because that'd be one a week.
Yeah.
So we had a couple weeks off.
Yeah. I'll blame the kids,
Yeah. But I think us getting to that point. Anything on your end with?
I would like to
no snooze.
I've been kind of doing a lot of the YouTube stuff.
Yep.
And I'm fine. I would like to keep doing, or I'm happy to help still with the or lead the posting of the episode and like optimization because I've enjoyed that and it's helped with my other stuff that I do for the real estate. So it's been complimentary. I think this year I want to focus on getting our merch rocking pretty good because I enjoy that a lot and I feel like it's a good return on our time because of the amount of people that have rocked the outfits or been seen in public. It's fun, right? Like I love dropping new merch and hyping it up and we didn't have enough time to do commercials and shoots and so that'd be a fun thing to kind of lead. So I would say the goal for that would be maybe, I don't know if you help me out with this. Do you think it's a volume of how many things we sell or a volume of sales?
Yeah, I think we take the number of total sales.
Yeah. Double it for this year.
And put a
or
number,
whatever.
Put a number on
All right,
it.
we'll figure that out. But I would like to do something
I think
avenue.
That's the way to go. And I think a conversation happens professionally on our level with, what are the adjustments that we're all making? Because at the end of the day, we do this part-time, so we expect part-time results.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer on that.
Yeah, it's
right.
true.
If this was a full-time investment, I do think that this would be, very well ahead of where we're at right now, but
Yeah.
we're happy with the progress.
Oh, yeah.
But I see that a lot with people that I speak to, right? You put in part-time work and you expect a full-time result, and that's never going to happen.
If you get good enough at certain things, you can get that to happen. But that
Absolutely
comes through with time.
However, you need to set the
I'm
groundwork.
gonna get them all fired up.
No. That's a good debate. But I believe
Not right off the bat. Yeah.
there will always be that groundwork. Groundwork has to be put in. You have to lead and understand the charge yourself before we could then delegate it to somebody else. But now, I'm comfortable with, passing some stuff off to Justin
Pumped for
over
that.
here.
Yeah.
And I think it's it's definitely a good thing. We got to get him on camera. He's used to the camera, by the way.
Yes.
He is an actor himself.
Yeah.
And Justin, what was the series you were on?
Ghostwriters.
Ghostwriters.
I gotta
on
watch
Apple,
it still.
What is
We
it,
should have
Apple
a
TV?
viewing party.
Apple TV.
Go watch, support.
Yeah. And go follow my boy. He's a good looking guy. What's the Instagram,
handle?
Justin?
Justin Sanchez official.
Wow, on Instagram.
Spelled like how you would think it'd be spelled, not like Dave spelling. Like
Yeah,
actual-
you know what we'll do? We'll take a little story. We'll tag him in there.
Okay,
So.
I love it. That's a good point too. Is this year with the return on time theme, kind of replacing us for certain parts of the business and focusing on more of stuff that we enjoy.
I see you putting a stick figure with a beard
Just-
here,
yeah.
and then you're just gonna
Just
talk
talking to you.
You're gonna be in your house recording an episode with Dave, just like.
So that guy, the Tim Ferriss guy, that like his whole thing's like the 4-hour work week. To some extent, it's helpful, but somewhat not realistic. There's another guy who talks about the Pareto principle, which means that 20% of your efforts result in 80% of the results, and figuring out what that 20% is and leaning into that.
100%.
So like with the real estate stuff, and I talk about it all the time, but that's what I think about because that's where the biggest thing in my use of my time is replacing myself in all social media fronts for real estate. So just getting someone and making them do only all my real estate stuff, because although I can do it, it's not the best use of my time anymore. Just like for you with the Instagram, at some point, it's not the best use of time.
Can we talk about that real quick though? Because I struggle.
Yeah.
Even though you call me Delegation Dave.
Oh my God, you're good. See, I'm adopting all that because I'm like,
well, no, it's good, and people know this, who work with me on a professional level at work. I hold things so close, and I would be nervous.
It's hard
to put something into somebody else's hand.
Yeah.
Just knowing that now people still think it's, they think we're on the Instagram, so now our name is obviously tied to it, and we're still on the Instagram. It's not, of course, but I don't know if I'd be comfortable with handing it over and say like, hey, Justin, go pick a clip and now caption this.
No, but I'm not saying that, right? Like what I do for at least the real estate stuff, I know what video we're posting. Mm-hmm. They're just posting it's the clerical part of it, right? Like you have a system. If you get someone, you say you post these clips, you're still the filter. But you're just not the time it takes to prep it, write everything out. You're just approving stuff.
Yeah. My point in saying this is that that's actually something that I'm working on.
Me too. It's hard.
The delegation piece, I do have down, but it's also I need to learn how to let go a little bit.
Yeah. Because you work so hard to build what you built, and then you also you want to be authentic with it. But you could still respond to people's messaging, the DMs or whatever.
Oh yeah, and I enjoy that.
Yeah. So whatever. But I'm saying I don't enjoy pushing as much as I push out on social media platforms because of all the things now that are going on, and it's just a big drainage of time.
Yeah.
So finding but a lot of it's like, how do you structure that? There's things I have to figure out to do that the right way. But you can't get in people's way that know how to do things hopefully better than you. CV, for example, we're not going to start editing the videos and doing you know what I mean? You find someone that's really good at it and you give them the reins, and then you're here or there to help and point things out, but you just gotta, I don't want an employee. That's the big thing that I'm trying to figure out. It's like, I don't want to have someone that works for me. I want someone that works with me, and somehow it benefits them in their pursuit, and they're incentivized based on something we agree upon.
Preach, my brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I don't want to be a manager. I don't want to manage people. I want to be partners with people, so that whatever we always talk about this. And we're like, CV, what do you like to do? What can we do that helps you? Dave, what are you trying to approach? And we always try to strategize that.
Mm-hmm.
The social media thing I love, and I'm very happy that it's where we are because of it. But as you know, the time it takes to do this stuff, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. And it's not going to get easier. And that's where I was also going too. Like,
Yeah, it only gets harder.
The part-time work is great for the part-time results, but now we need to find a way to continue that progress and continue moving forward.
Scale up.
So now it's, yes, we work so hard, but it's okay, well, how can we work a little bit smarter but still harder? I hate that term, work smart, not hard.
Smarter, not harder.
I believe that you have to work smart and you have to work hard.
Yeah, or
right? So
efficiently.
It's finding that balance to now create a new success and a new ceiling of something that was already great.
Yeah.
And then where does that ever plateau? And when do you become too content? And I think a lot of people just give up at that point.
Yeah.
You know, even with podcasts, they say 99% of podcasts fail because they just stop doing it.
Yeah. Well, our big thing that I think we need to tick off is the location, right? Because as much as we enjoy coming to your house, the cafe's open. Shout out Karina for making a great cup of coffee. She's not around. Dave does as well.
Thank you.
But that little thing would make us it would make our systems a lot easier in timing. And, you know, so I think that'll be a big thing to see if we can get that knocked out.
That little
During
studio
COVID
push.
too, it's tough. But
Yeah, no, I get it.
a new house too. That if I get something, that's always a thought in my head because I'm gonna need a home office of some sort. And because of the rat, my previous home office got obliterated. So now I'm from scratch again, and I'm like, you know what? So
yeah. Side note, I guess it falls more under personal. Gratitude. Something I never want to let go of.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm done with it.
Mike's like, no empathy, no gratitude for me, baby.
Yeah.
No, gratitude is something that, you know, I see and I reap the benefits of it on a daily basis, and truly being grateful for the things that you have and focusing on the things you have versus the things that you don't have will always get you so much further in life. And it's something that I see it, and I just want to put it out there that I'm going to continue to hold myself accountable to make time every single day to be grateful for exactly where I'm at today.
It's a good one. Yeah, I don't really know like the vague stuff. I think one of the things I need to work on is just speaking less, which is funny to say because we have a podcast and I'm shooting all this content for like real estate stuff, but listening more before reacting to things, right? Like even in deals and everything, hearing someone out first, asking follow-up questions, then giving. Sometimes I jump and give my opinion before I know the whole picture. And by the back and forth, then you get the whole picture and you change that response. I'd like to give more concise responses to things. And that's the three-piece suit talking, because I feel like if you do a three-piece suit, you listen, you put your cigarette out, and then you respond.
Yeah, it's preaching right now. I love it. It's the reaction versus the response, right? Like, we're very quick to react and we don't take enough time to really genuinely respond.
And Dana, I love you to death. I'm going to work on listening to you and not trying to solve it, because I still fall into that trap.
I think we all
every goddamn time there's an issue, I'm like, just do this or just do that. Just don't say anything. How hard is it for me not to say? I'm already doing it. I'm already talking.
It's hard. It is hard. But the no snooze lifestyle mindset, so beneficial. Just for me on a personal level, always having that mentality in my head and applying that to everything I do. It's just something that I never want to stop it.
Yeah. And I have to shout out my mother, because she says something that as you get older and you hear the thing over and over, it changes meaning. And I don't mean it to come off as like, if you're rich, you don't have problems. It's more of a way to think, and it's a gratitude part. She always says, like, if it can be fixed with money or like time, don't worry. If it's a health thing, that's when you get worried. If it's, don't stress. Mm-hmm. If a rat bites through your water pipe and you get displaced for a month,
it's uncontrollable.
Fix it. Get a plumber in there and you fix it. If your heat goes out, and as you get older,
turn the switch back on.
Yeah. Thank God you said that. So this Max, who's also a young real estate guy in the Greenwich scene, and he's crushing it. Smart kid, really smart, way smarter than I am. I must just outwork you. I'm just kidding. Max. He's good. He said that I forget what he said. I think he did the same thing, or so. Oh no, he took your trick of, don't kill me, Max, for saying this, paying the guy. and saying like, "Oh, I'll give you this." Like,
Oh, so he listens to the podcast.
yes, he recently started listening. He was always supportive of it, but
Yeah.
he was outdoing, and now that his downtime, he listened to that episode and he said he pulled it off and it worked. And he
Shout
said
out
his
to
wife
you,
was
Max.
also mortified. So
That'll never
yeah,
go away because that will always happen with me. Yeah, maybe that's a good goal for me. Stop mortifying my wife.
that's
Nah, I
impossible.
can't
She
do
already
that.
did it today.
Yeah,
when
I
we were talking.
did. I know. I get into these debates with people,
Mhm.
and my wife, she melts because I'm very I don't know if aggressive is the right word, but I'm resilient
Mhm.
in a debate. Would you agree with that?
I don't know if resilience is the right word. You're
I'm like a pit
relentless.
bull.
You're more
Yes,
relentless
yes, that
than resilient. Resilient
yeah.
means like bouncing back. You don't go back at all. So.
True. I'm sorry. I guess yes, you're right. Relentless would be the proper term there.
Yeah.
But she can't stand it because she's just like the nicest person in the world. But she's one of the hardest workers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And she's the most committed and dedicated individual in the world. Second to me, but you know.
There you go. General goal, and we're just throwing them out, so I'm going to fill the dead space. Another goal would be with the phone. I've gotten much better this year putting the phone down. I put the phone away from me at night because I have to set the alarm, because if it's next to me, I don't get up.
Yep.
So I put it at the other side. And then now when I'm getting home with the watch situation, I can see what's going on, but I don't need the phone with me.
Nice.
So put the phone away, which I'm getting better. The social media thing kind of,
Yep.
I'm still fall guilty of like doing some follows and reactions or responses, while we're watching movies.
Solid.
More present. Be more present.
I love that.
Yeah.
My favorite section, Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes. New goal, get a soundboard. For, yeah, well, you know what I meant.
This is a perfect segue into 2021. Day one of the new year is the first blank page in your 365-page book. Write a good one.
Yeah. I don't read books. I listen to
No,
books.
this is you writing a book, not reading it, brother.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to read it, so why would I write it? So I'm going to go back to Miguelito because Thank
Ito.
Miguelito's mantras. A year from now, you will wish you had started today. Karen Lamb.
That's one of the best ones of all time, though. It's
Have
the
you?
truth.
When's the last time you thought about that? Like, I've a couple times been like, I should have started that.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
The podcast was one of them, and I'm looking at you guys
Really?
because that was something that I knew would haunt me, and I was already thinking about doing it, like slowly,
Yeah.
like starting to think about it, and then I thought of that quote.
Really?
Literally thought of that quote about just starting today. And I literally, the next time I saw you, said something to you. Next time I saw you, said something to you. Then we met up and we applied it. So imagine, though, a year ago,
Yeah.
none of this would have ever happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the like wishing, if you do something and you wish you started it earlier, you did something right.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Like if you're like, I should have done this earlier,
Yep.
it means you're on the right path.
And you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
And that's important. And keep doing that.
Yeah. Doing it with what you love, with who you love.
That's right. So you just keep staying.
Look at those eyes.
Keep staying with me, my brother.
Yes.
Until next time, stop snoozing.
Get up, get after it, and go accomplish some goals.
My man.
That's another Effie in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.